Oh, welcome into the Chicago Bears season preview edition of Prime Sports World. And it seems very appropriate to do this Chicago Bears show before the Hall of Fame game tomorrow, where two Chicago Bears are getting into the Hall, including the jersey that my man Matt James is wearing right now. Thank you very much for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast as we are previewing the season for every single team in the National Football League. I'm your host, David On Point Huffman, one of our analysts, Matt James, and my co-host, Mr. T.J. Hopkins. Thank you for joining me here on the show, my friends. How you guys all doing? Happy Wednesday. And also, before we get into the real show, Matt, we just want to send you the best wishes for tomorrow. There's another reason we're running this show now. You're the biggest Bear fan I know. I wanted to make sure you were part of this show before you have to have, obviously, what you're going through tomorrow. So best wishes to you, my friend. We love you.
Yeah,
Sports World.
Appreciate this and appreciate you guys. And yeah, obviously this is one of my favorite shows of the year. So yeah, let's do it.
And yeah, we wanted to make sure you were a part of it. But yeah, TJ, how are you doing over there, man? Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day.
Same fight, different round, man.
Yeah, I feel you. Oh yeah, I was supposed to have a meeting, but it got canceled, so we're running this a little bit early.
Hey, we take all the wins we can get.
That's true. Let's swing right into the storylines. Let's talk about the number one storyline people are talking about when it comes to the Bears. First, Justin Fields is out in Chicago. Caleb Williams comes in. It kind of ties into the second storyline a little bit, but what are we expectations now that, Justin Fields is no longer part of this team and Caleb Williams used the first overall pick on him? What are the expectations for him numbers-wise, stats-wise? I guess we can get into the supporting cast after.
I think because of what CJ Stroud did, that just elevates the bar for any high drafted rookie quarterback going forward until somebody tops what CJ Stroud did. He went, 9-8. He won a playoff game and
won a division. I mean, he doesn't miss a couple more games. I mean, they probably win even more games.
So that's kind of what the bar is right now. Like, especially if you're what you call it, projected to be. You feel me? Like, no one thought, everybody thought CJ Stroud was good, but they didn't give him any kind of expectations. Why? Because Houston was terrible. They ran poorly, all that other good stuff. And now it's because of the season he had, the benefit of the doubt is no longer a thing. It's no longer, you had a bad season because this season's terrible. It's, CJ Stroud went to a terrible place and look what he did.
And I think the other thing about Caleb Williams, this kind of touches into the second storyline, right? Like, this Bears team on offense is stacked. If they gave up on Justin Fields for Caleb Williams, and now it's really up to Caleb Williams to make the Bears good on investment. I mean, they didn't have to give up on Justin Fields. They could have easily have gone a different direction in the draft, took it a wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then took a defensive end later in the draft and continued to build around Justin Fields, something that I advocated for.
That's what I was going to say. And Matt, I don't know, because I don't know what I don't know what Bears circles you're in, but I saw a lot of Bears fans who were like, "Damn, you ain't even gonna try to run this back with Justin Fields. You ain't gonna even you just gonna give all the new shiny stuff to the new kid and hope for the best." That's kind of I don't know if you were seeing that, Matt. I saw that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the second I found out Justin Fields got traded, it did hurt. I mean, I had, high hopes for the kid, just like everybody else, but I was on the realm of we need to be patient with these kids. There's such high expectations here in Chicago, and the fact that he did not get much of a chance, and Caleb Williams is given every present a kid could get on Christmas Day for the first 18 years of his life on one day here. I mean, seriously. I mean, the offensive line is, still a work in progress, but it's still better than it was. And he has every weapon in the world to throw to, give the ball to, everything. It's and Justin Fields just gets kicked to the curb in Pittsburgh. I mean, I wish him the best, and honestly, he is,
He has a legitimate
has the
chance.
potential to do well there, and I hope he does. And yeah, it did hurt, a little bit. I was hoping they could, give him, you know, some more time and more, protection and, a couple more weapons like they do now.
Because I've said for a long time when we were in this whole process that I would have traded the first overall pick away, and I would have given Justin Fields and Matt Eberflus one more season to see if they can put, like, especially the product that the players that they have on this roster right now. Like, I would have been like, okay, yeah, like, let's see if we can make this work and continue acquiring future draft assets. Because if it doesn't work out, I mean, you could move on from Justin Fields and not have to worry about it. I mean, maybe you could trade him for a late round pick the way they did, and take another quarterback and have a treasure trove of draft assets. And I understand the quarterback class in next year's draft class isn't as nearly as quote unquote strong as this particular quarterback draft class. But there's always a quarterback that emerges as like the guy in every process. Yes, Caleb Williams was kind of anointed for the last couple seasons, but there's always a guy. I mean, Carson Beck or Shadur Sanders, or those are the two guys I can think of off the top of my head.
Ole Miss got a kid that's going to be really good. Ole Miss got a kid that's really good.
But back to, like, we're talking numbers with Caleb Williams. I mean, looking at what Justin Fields did his final season here in Chicago through 13 games. I mean, 2,500 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. That's at least the bar. I mean, in order for you to justify moving off of Justin Fields, you at least have to be more productive than Justin Fields was last season with an improved offensive line and a wide receivers that is a fantastic wide receiving core. And yes, I understand it was 13 games, but Justin Fields also contributed 657 yards on the ground with another 4 touchdowns there. I mean, he has to be a 3,000-yard passer at least, and at least throw for 20 touchdowns in order to be like, okay, Caleb Williams, the decision to move off of Justin Fields and bring in Caleb Williams was justified.
And
otherwise, I think there's going to be a lot of head scratching.
It's a lot of, like, Fields went through it unfairly. Like, we saw what happened when we drafted him. Like, we were excited, we're drafting him, but then we also signed Andy Dalton in free agency. And it's no secret that the regime at the time, Nagy and Brian Pace, were coaching and GMing for their jobs. And I wholeheartly didn't blame them necessarily for not putting Justin Fields out there. Like, hey, my job's on the line. I'm not entrusting my NFL life to a rookie, especially when I see him and I think he has things to work on. And we saw him use it. We saw them use Fields in, like, goal line packages and all the other stuff. And David, what do I always say? If you're gonna play him, play him. If you're not, then sit. Like, don't bring him in for a package here and there. And then no, like, if you're gonna play him, play him. Not sit him so you can work with him and so he can get to where you want him to get to.
And yeah, I think he's about to come in here and crash our Bears party. With his
hey, wait, real quick. $10 says he has on something Packers related.
I guarantee it as well.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the argument that I made, like, when they maybe get the quarterback next to him, because Matt Eberflus and potentially Ryan Poles, they're still there. I mean, they may be coaching for their jobs too this season. I mean, if this doesn't go well, both of them could be out of jobs, especially Eberflus for sure.
I think no, because I said Eberflus.
I think Poles might be safe.
Season. Oh, Poles is working magic right now, bro. Like, Poles is for sure safe. I said it last year. Hey, if the Bears won 10 games, Eberflus's job was safe. Why? Because you went 3-14 the year prior. Eberflus did improve.
The team got better in the second half of the season.
He was +4 in the win column. Like, that's, you go from we went from 3 wins the prior year to 7 wins the second year. That's improvement. It was ugly as hell how he got it. But we improved, did we not? Like, we get Montez Sweat. The defense goes from what it was to, like, top 10 after the Montez.
We'll talk about the defense
after the Montez Sweat trade. It's not Justin Fields' fault that he gets a wide open Robert Tonyan in the game against Cleveland and Tyen drops it. It's
What
not
do you mean, big Bob Tunyon?
It's not Justin Fields' fault that he gets late hit on a Hail Mary that hits the ground, by the way, and the refs call it an interception. Because how stupid can you be? Right? Like that's not Justin Fields' fault, bro. Like it's not his fault that we get up big against the Broncos or the Lions and Luke Getsy just decides to, you know what, I'm gonna stop doing the stuff that got us the lead. We got it. We're gonna play conservative from here on out. And then you blow the lead.
So let's talk about the supporting cast now. Swinging away from Caleb Williams, let's talk about the supporting cast. Is this the best supporting cast for a rookie quarterback that you can ever remember? Like, I cannot remember a quarterback walking into a franchise with this kind of firepower on offense. I mean,
Justin Herbert might have something to say about that.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. I mean, he didn't get.
Did he have AJ Green and Higgins and Jamar Chase?
No.
Jamar Chase was the year after.
Jamar Chase was the year after, but I cannot remember a quarterback, a rookie quarterback. Because I mean, even Justin Herbert. I mean, he had Keenan Allen, Mike Williams.
Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. You had Austin Eckler at running back. You had Gerald Everett at tight end. Justin Herbert might have.
Give me DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet, and Gerald Everett, and then not to mention this offensive line, who's probably a top 15 or so offensive line unit with the addition of Ryan Pates. I think that I can't remember a time when a quarterback walked into a team and a unit that was like literally a quarterback away from being ready to go.
Hey, well, I'm sticking with my I'm sticking with my Justin Herbert point. Wow. That's a good. I'm not even sure what. Like, hold on, wait. Matt Ryan in Atlanta, Julio Jones, Roddy. What was left of
Julio Jones wasn't even there yet. I don't think they got Julio Jones.
He was later.
After. Like they had.
He was like Jamar Chase a year or two after, I think. They built that in the years coming.
Years.
No, I'm talking about like it was like at least one season. Like Matt Ryan didn't play with Julio Jones his rookie season. Yeah, he did have Roddy White. He did have Michael Jenkins, and then he had who's the guy who caught his first ever touchdown pass? Harry Douglas. Was it Harry Douglas?
I think so. Tony
Gonzalez didn't come till later either.
No, but Tony Gonzalez wasn't there by the time Matt Ryan got there. That wasn't like the same time.
No, I mean, not as a rookie.
Are we sure?
I'm like 99% sure. I imagine if I was a betting man, I bet they're still rolling out LG Crumpler as their tight end that season.
Man.
Oh yeah, so their wide receivers. So Harry Douglas was the draft. Harry Douglas was drafted in the same draft class.
That's Matt Ryan.
Yeah. The wide receiver. So Michael Jenkins actually caught his first touchdown. Tight ends, he had Marcus Pollard, who was still in the NFL, believe it or not. Justin Peel, Jason Ratter. Yeah, he didn't have. And then he had Michael the Burner Turner, what was left of him, as his running back. Yeah, by
that point, Michael Turner was coming into his because he had spent so many years as the Chargers backup to LT. So Michael Turner had good tread on the tires by the time
Let's not sit here and pretend that supporting cast is no. It was actually the first season. His first season in Atlanta was Matt Ryan's rookie season.
I told you. I thought he had on some Green Bay. I thought that was something.
What are you doing?
I'm here to crash the party.
I thought that was a crash the party.
We got the lone Packer fan here wearing his shades at night.
I thought that was a Green Bay polo.
It's done. I ain't on cocaine now, David.
Okay. Izzy Rivera, welcome to the show.
I'm sticking with Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert can say my
Let me turn the light on real quick.
This is the best. This is my opinion. This is the best supporting cast the rookies ever had stepping into the NFL. And Izzy, before you say anything, I'm talking about a guy who's going to start week 1, not your Jordan Love. Like, oh, Jordan Love, like he didn't start for 4 years. So stop it. I know you're gonna. All right.
I have no argument with that.
But bro, like,
I think I had an argument before, but I don't have one today. So
I brought up
you got me beat.
I brought up Justin Herbert because Justin Herbert did have, like, he comes into the league. There's Keenan Allen, there's Mike Williams, there's Gerald Everett at tight end, and Austin Eckler on the, like, in the backfield. And David, you named a bunch of names. I understand that, but you all, like, you do know that some of those dudes can only be on the field at once. Like all those dudes ain't gonna be on the field with Caleb Williams at the same.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. Of course, obviously, I know that. But
I mean, we can make the argument for Brock Purdy, but you know, it's whatever.
Yeah, him too.
Yeah.
He didn't even start week 1. He doesn't count.
Yeah.
He was not.
So you know, David likes to do that. He likes to manipulate. It's like, so he said rookie, and then he's like, oh no, the rookie has to be able to start week 1.
Yeah.
Which is why
Not to mention, Justin Herbert didn't even start week 1 his rookie season. He didn't get in the game until Tyrod Taylor went down.
That's true.
It's still just
David has valid points. So anyways,
this is the best supporting cast, period. Like, there is no better supporting cast ever.
But that goes back to the first question. Like, those expectations are now sky high because usually when rookies go to bad teams, they're bad teams, right? Like, Mike.
What about Big Ben?
Oh, damn. Did he start week 1?
Yeah, he started week 1 as a starter. Yeah, he was week 1 starter.
You sure Charlie Batch wasn't still there doing Charlie Batch
Yeah,
things?
no, but I don't think Charlie Batch started. I doubt Charlie Batch started. We can do our research there, but what do you have? Hines Ward, Jerome Bettis.
Actually, Tommy Maddox actually started the first game of the season and the last one. So Tommy Maddox actually started.
Whatever. Tommy Maddox. Okay, whatever. That was like, bro. Like, they're like, okay, let's just like throw Tommy Maddox out there, the truck driver.
Tommy Maddox won his first game, and then he got injured.
And then it was Big Ben, and it was Big Ben for the next 18 years.
Injury that changed the course of a franchise.
It was Big Ben for the next 18 years.
Tommy Maddox getting hurt.
Like, yeah, that's a because of the supporting cast. Like, yeah, those expectations. Forget what you call it. Forget what CJ Stroud did. Like, that helps. I mean, that makes the case that much higher. It's like you got to replicate what CJ Stroud did. Oh, and on top of that, your supporting cast is arguably the best one for a rookie ever. So, and on top of that, again, they won 7 games last year. So if you somehow come into this and you either repeat the same success, you go 7-10 with, like, it's gonna be a disappointing season if you go 7-10 with this cast. They're gonna
actually three Chicago Bears are going to the Hall of Fame. I got Julius Peppers is going to the Hall too.
As a Panther, but yeah.
As a Panther, but you know, okay.
He's going in as a Panther.
Yeah, of course he is. I mean, where else?
He ain't going in as a Green Bay Packer. That's for sure.
Moving on, let's talk about how good this defense can be after the Montez Sweat trade. This defense was a top 5 unit in the whole league, ranking 5th in total defense, only 272 yards per game. 5th in pass defense, 180 yards per game allowed. 9th in scoring defense, and they tied for 2nd in total takeaways with 11. They were obviously, a top 5 unit, but how good can this defense be?
Since they got Montez Sweat?
After the Montez Sweat. So
after Montez Sweat,
so Montez Sweat joined the team in week 9. After that, they were a top 5 unit in the NFL.
That's a small sample size, by the way.
It's 18 games. I mean, it's a half a season or 8 games. It's like half a season.
They climbed to the top 5.
They had a bye week.
That's half a season.
What was their rankings before that?
Hold on. So weeks 1 through 8. So week 1 through 8, they allowed 27.3 points per game, which is 20.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, and then they allowed 341 yards, was the 23rd. Their passing yards, they allowed 262 per game, which is 30th. They had they were tied for last when it comes to sacks with 10, and then they were tied for 22nd with 9.
That's what happens when you add a premier pass rusher to a defense that had potential, especially in the secondary with young guys like that. Once you add a pass rush, and I kind of like when I look at the Bears, like I kind of it might have been nice to add Roma Dunze, but it would have been nice, even better, to maybe get another pass rusher on the opposite side of that line. But anyways, that's neither here or there now, it's hindsight. But yeah, I mean, that defense was pretty stellar once they got Montez Sweat. How good can they be? Let the Packer fan talk. Okay, before you guys start spewing all your bullshit. All right. So I think this defense could be really damn good. No. Hold on, Jeff. Damn. Can I go?
Is it bullshit though?
I think the defense could be pretty damn good. I mean, when you look at who they have on the back end, what they have on the front seven, obviously, I think TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds is probably one of the best linebacker duos you can have. And then Jaquan Brisker, we already know what he can bring. Kevin Byard, Jalen Johnson got paid. Kyler Gordon's coming into his own. I think if they stay healthy, and then you got the trader Jonathan Owens coming over. His girlfriend's the best athlete in the family.
His wife.
His wife is the best athlete in the house. Okay, shout out to Simone Biles. But anyways, I think this defense can be a top 10 defense. It's all due to health, though, right? We got to make sure everybody's healthy. And also, can we get a pass rush? Can we get a pass rush out the front seven like we did in the second half of the season? I don't see why they cannot. But expect Montez Sweat to see a lot of doubles. Now it relies on the other guys on the other side to produce as well on the line. So I think this team could be a top 10 defense. It can't, but it all depends on health, and I don't see why they shouldn't be healthy because they're all young. They all have, a lot of good guys that have a good bill of health, right? I don't see any guys on that defense that has an injury bug throughout their history of playing in the NFL. So I think the team can be a top 10 unit overall. I don't know about top 5.
I think the Bears
maybe
are going
top
to be
7.
I think the Bears are going to be a top 5 defense. I think because this offense is expected. I think this defense, this offense is expected to be improved. And so if you're on the football field less, you're going to be a better defensive unit. You'll be more rested. You'll be ready to play. This is going to be a top 5 defense. Period.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely has the potential to be top 5 again. Yeah, I mean, if you mentioned it, we'll see how the pass rush is. I mean, I would have liked to add another premier guy in line. It's always nice. I mean, you can never have too many pass rushers. We'll see how the kid out of Kansas does. See if you can plug him in.
He's solid as hell.
He's a beast up there. So hopefully he can get up there and be our next guy. Plug him next to Montez Sweat. Hopefully Jalen Johnson can play at a high level. Brisker, he has some work to do, but he has potential. Stevenson,
safeties I've seen in the league
Man.
so far.
Yeah, but he backs off at times too much in my, But that's neither here nor there. That's a whole nother story.
I mean, Tyreek Stevens was bullied a little bit his rookie season, but he bounced back in a big way towards the latter half of the season.
He did.
Really put in a really strong rookie season towards the end.
So I mean, yeah, they definitely have a top 5 defense. So
that's why.
We'll
that's
see
why
if they can how the offense does. I mean, if they go in shootouts and get complacent, I mean that's where they fall into that 5 to 10 range.
Do I expect Tyreek Stevenson is from the U? He should bounce back. He's from Miami.
Yeah.
Stevenson,
DB.
Yeah, I like the kid.
TJ, you want to weigh in on the defense real quick?
I think the sophomore that's going to take the biggest step is definitely Javon Dexter. Keep an eye out on Javon Dexter. He is going to be.
Oh yeah.
He going if I was a betting man, and I am, if I was to place a bet on the second year player to take the biggest leap forward, it would be him. My money is on Javon Dexter at that nose spot, and Yannick Ngakoue can still come back. Like people forget we had him. He broke his ankle. He can come back. Like Yannick Ngakoue, Montez Sweat, Javon Dexter, and whoever else in the middle. I like to put with the secondary that we have, as he pointed out. That's you can get motherfuckers nightmares with that. With Tremaine Evans and TJ Edwards in the middle. That's the shuffle nightmares. Like I would, yeah. Izzy got the shorties in the back. They living life. Living life.
Moving on from there, let's talk about this draft. Obviously, it's headlined by Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. They took an offensive tackle out of Yale in the third round. They didn't have that many picks to work with. They took a punter out of Iowa, who's a mammoth human being for a punter. And then they took Austin Booker, obviously the project edge rusher they talk about out of Kansas, who is a pretty solid football player. Looking at their draft, obviously, Caleb Williams is the headliner here. He becomes the starting quarterback of this team, replaces Justin Fields. But yeah, Booker, the edge rusher out of Kansas, so he has some upside. He had 38 pressures and 9 sacks in 2023, but he also posted a 14.8 pass rush win rate in the Big 12. He is going to be a rotational edge rusher that you can probably play on play on third downs.
Yeah. So like, I know you hate the Tory Taylor pick. Like I know you hate drafting punters and kickers, but you also gotta remember this, bro. The Bears were 32nd in what's that thing called? Like and field flipping, whatever that statistic is. That's why they got rid of the punter we had. What was it, Trenton Gill?
Yeah.
You know what Tory Taylor was? You know what Tory Taylor was first at in college? Flipping the field.
Punts inside the 20. He also can hit. He has a rocket for a leg, kicking at 67 yards. But yeah, he produced 35 punts inside the 20-yard line. That was the highest in college football last season.
Like he was the number one punter. Like he was the best punter in college football. So flipping field position plays a role in your defense being great too. Like, hey, I feel a lot better about my defense if I have the opposing team pinned inside the 20 versus them getting the ball at the 30 or 35. And it's like, damn, I only have to go 60 yards now to score. It's a lot less work to do offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not even inside the 20, it's inside the 10. I mean, that kid could, down it inside of there like nothing. I mean, he was Iowa's best offensive player.
Dead ass.
Like literally. It's why Iowa. It's one of the reasons why Iowa's defense was ranked so high. I mean, not to take anything away from them. I mean, they did their job, but
not even being funny. Like you are spot on. Like
he was their best offensive player. I love the pick. I mean, that's a different way to flip the field. I mean, I got Hester on right now. That's one way to do it. Another way is to their teams inside the 10 and the 5-yard line often.
And then the offensive tackle from Yale basically had an 89.5 PFF grade last season. He probably could play guard or tackle at the next level. He was the 57th rated player by PFF. They ended up getting him at 75. So that's good value. It gives you valuable offensive line depth that you kind of need in the NFL for sure.
I'm calling it right now. He's taking over Braxton Jones by the end of the season or before.
Karan, first off, he's a hometown kid.
I like the kid.
Him and Matas Buzelis went to Hinsdale Central together. Did you know that?
Yeah, he's a hometown kid.
Yeah, whichever Hinsdale High School that him and Matas
I think he was Central.
They
whoever the Devils were, I think.
6'5", 326 pounds. Like, he is not a small human being.
And
he could push Braxton Jones a little bit there.
I think he takes over at right tackle, because that's also been a revolving door. I think what they should do is, like, I think Tevin Jenkins' home is right guard. I think that's
agree.
his that's his MO. That's his niche in today's NFL, because Nate Davis, I understand he went through a lot of personal stuff last year, and last season was tough on him. He did not have, like, there were some games where it looked like he did not belong out there. I will put Tevin Jenkins at right guard, and I will put this kid at right tackle. Braxton Jones.
I mean, you got Darnell Wright. You got Darnell Wright at right tackle. You don't need it. Darnell Wright had a good rookie season.
Yeah.
That's true. It's not something's not.
Yeah,
I just don't.
Darnell Wright at what, like 10 or something? He's taking two.
This kid's gonna play at some
That's
point.
his position.
I just don't. I don't see, like, unless Braxton Jones gets hurt, or, like, I don't know who we got at left guard. Like, who is our left guard? Who's that left
Tevin
guard?
Jenkins is left guard.
Yeah, Jenkins right now. So he's
right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Permanently.
with his injury history already.
Yeah. To the other two picks, we kind of talked a lot about Caleb Williams, so we don't necessarily need to talk about it here again. Roma Dunze, the wide receiver out of Washington, he added to a very talented trio of wide receivers with DJ Moore. Congratulations to him. He just secured the bag yesterday. And Keenan Allen, who's been just a staple of 1,200 yards and 100 catches every single season he's been in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Roma Dunze just gives you some more depth to the wide receiver position. And, you know, he's 6'3", and, like, he's just a guy that is going to be really fun and utilized, really interesting in Chicago, I think.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. Like, that report that he and Caleb have all, like, that they have already. Is, you love to see it. Like, you love to see the rookies grow together, because that's a thing. And that's, I ain't gonna say obviously, but that's the potential Keenan Allen replacement. When Keenan Allen says, "Hey, this is it," because we also got to be mindful. Hey, his injury history is pretty substantial too, and Keenan Allen also is what, 32,
Something like that, yeah.
something like that. And I know, I know when we say that, they're like, 32 is not old. No, it's not. But 32 is NFL old, like that.
I mean, basically how much he's been, like, how many catches he has, how many tackles he's had. I mean, he has 904 catches in his career already. Yeah.
Like, it's, yeah. So, like, I have no issue. Like, obviously, like, it was no secret what they were doing with number one. When it got to a certain point, and it's like, to David's point, like, I would trade the pick. When it got to a certain point, and it's like, we're not trading that pick. It's like, okay, well, we know who's coming to Chicago. We know it's going to be Caleb. And now the real question is, what do we do at 9? Like that became the real question. Like, do we go edge? Do we get another receiver? What do we do? And we got our answer.
And I like, you draft a quarterback, you draft a wide receiver, pair them together. I think that they can build and grow together. I mean, because if you're going to take a swing at Caleb Williams and you want him to be successful, you should probably do whatever you can to make sure he is. And taking a wide receiver off as a tackle. I love the Bears draft. I'll give it a solid B+.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say B+, A- right now. So I like what they did.
To the roster,
who they wanted.
To the roster shakeup. Notable additions. Obviously, they traded for Keenan Allen. They brought in Kevin Bynard. They brought in DeAndre Swift. They brought in Gerald Everett. Notable departures. They traded Justin Fields. Eddie Jackson's now a member of the Baltimore Ravens. They lost Cody Whitehair, and Darnell Mooney is now a member of the Atlanta Falcons. I think the additions, I'm not overly concerned. I think the loss of Eddie Jackson's is tough, but he hasn't been really all that healthy for a couple seasons now. And he's kind of lost that Pro Bowl form that he had a few years ago. I'm not that upset that he's no longer on the team.
He had a bit of a resurgence. What was it? The year they were back. The year they went 3-14. He had a bit of a resurgence. Like, his interception numbers went back up, but it was the same thing. He didn't finish the season. He got hurt again, because Eddie Jackson could have easily been, like, well, I think Pro Bowl or something like that, and because he got snubbed, and it was a big deal that he got snubbed because another player got injured and made it, and Eddie Jackson's like, damn, I did this, and y'all, one of the reasons y'all said I couldn't get it is because I was injured. So it's like y'all can't pick and choose who to do that for.
Yeah.
I am gonna miss that ball hawk. I am gonna miss that leadership. I am gonna miss that dog. We also gotta understand. We also gotta remind ourselves, like Eddie Jackson came into this league injured, and
that's the reason he fell to us in the draft.
That's thank you. That's the reason he fell to us, and it was special. I hate that it ended the way that it did. Again, 2018 was supposed to be the one. God damn it! But it is what it is. Again, Justin Fields is unfairly given this rap of what, like, he's labeled a loser, he's labeled whatever. I'm like, dude, like I want y'all to go out there and throw the ball to anyone not named Cole Kmet and Darnell Mooney that year they went 3-14. Can you even remember who else he was throwing the ball to?
The fact that Darnell Mooney was the number one.
Aquinas St. Brown, right? He had one of the
EQ St. Brown. Yeah, Equinimia St. Who else?
I got nothing else for you.
Dante
I don't even.
Dante Pettis, who left and came back.
Oh,
God. It was a lot of cast-offs. And we're like, damn, why can't Justin Fields do this? I don't know, because he's throwing to he had a better chance.
N'Keal Harry and
Claypool at one point.
Byron Pringle, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, y'all wanted him to win throwing to that. Justin Fields never really got a shake. Like, it was people who were done with him after the 3-14 year. LaShawn McCoy talking about go get a new quarterback. Like, bro, they would why? So they can do the same thing, go through the same process. Like Cody Whitehair, it was just time. Cody, it was just time.
He spends a lot of time banged up. I mean, he really hasn't been productive for a hot minute.
It was just I love the pick. I love when we got Cody Whitehair. I love a person that could play all three intermediate spots on the line, center and either guard spot. I love that versatility. Cody Whitehair for the long time was the lone linchpin on that Bears offensive line. He was the one constant. It was a lot of revolving doors, but the one thing we can count on was Cody Whitehair being there.
Yeah.
Hey, and Darnell Mooney. Hey, Darnell. I don't know what happened. That study has to be. That fall off the cliff has to be studied too. Like,
well, I mean, he got injured, and then he just never really.
I know he got injured the 3-14 year, and then he comes back, and we're expecting him and Moore to be a solid tenor because we're expecting that to be solid, and then
he had 31 catches for 414 yards and a touchdown. Like,
and then all of a sudden, it was a lot of DJ Moore and Cole Kmet, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh damn, Darnell Mooney caught the ball. Like he's involved in the offense. No?
We still have him.
I mean,
exactly.
He had 1,000 yards in 2021. He only had 600 in 2022, and it was even worse in 2023. So he's gotten progressively worse since he's basically been in the NFL. And then, I mean, I really like the additions that the Chicago Bears did here. I mean, bringing in bringing in DeAndre Swift, who's a very versatile running back, bringing in a Gerald Everett, who's a very good underrated tight end, and Keenan Allen is just the consummate pro. It's a good guy for Rome Odunze to kind of learn from, learn how to be a pro. This is, I mean, I didn't want to see Justin Fields go, but what the Bears did in free agency and through the draft, trading up for Keenan Allen, I love what the Bears did with their roster shakeup. I think they put Caleb Williams in the best position to be successful right away. And that was the name of the game for the Bears team this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the one thing I want to say and reiterate again, be patient with the process. Do not rush it. If he doesn't throw a touchdown on his first pass, who gives a shit?
Hey, and Matt,
I think you're forgetting the fan base that you're talking about.
That's why I'm saying that. I should not be saying it, but
and Matt, I'm glad you said that because the last the last few weeks, David can attest to this. The one thing I've been preaching is we as fans have forgotten that rookies are supposed to be bad.
Yes.
They're like, it's very rare that a rookie hits the ground running the way that some rookies do. I'm not saying it's not possible, but majority of rookies, they struggle because it's a new level for them. Every rookie that comes into the league ain't gonna be CJ Stroud. So to hold that rookie up to the standard that CJ Stroud set, it's not fair. Like CJ Stroud also is gonna understand, like, damn, now because of what I did in my rookie year, the expectations are that much more greater for me now. Shit is hard.
Yeah, the NFL is hard. Let's swing into their schedule. Let's talk about the Bears' ceiling/floor. And yesterday we started with the floor for the Buffalo Bills. So we'll be a positive Paul show or positive Pete here show at Prime Sports World. And we're going to talk about the Chicago Bears ceiling. You see their schedule right there on the side there. What do you think is going to be the ceiling for the Chicago Bears for this upcoming season?
Ceiling, no bias, no homer, no fandom. 11 wins.
Well,
like that's I'm like, I ain't gonna be a homer and say, hey, we can win. We can go 14-3 or 13-4. Like, no, I'm because we went +4 the year prior. Another +4, +5 in the win column would be fantastic.
I mean, we would benefit from playing a last place schedule. So you're looking at it. I mean, Titans win that game, Panthers, you win that game. I think you could probably beat the Rams in Soldier Field. That's 3 wins right there. I think you can beat Jacksonville. I think you can beat the Commanders. You beat Arizona. You beat New England. You split with Minnesota, and then you beat
Minnesota.
And then you beat Seattle. So what is that? So 1, 2.
You split the Lions. I mean, they split them last year.
They split them last year.
4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to go 10.
Split Green Bay. I mean, you go 3-3 against the division for once.
I don't think we're going to split with Detroit.
I
don't think you're going to split with Green Bay. I think that those two teams are better than us as currently.
Well, Detroit was better than they were both better last year, and they took one from Detroit.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to go 10 wins. I think the ceiling, for the Chicago Bears is 10 wins.
Mm-hmm.
I think that being the ceiling, I think there's an opportunity for a wild card spot there.
Yeah,
I don't think you can win the division at 10 wins. I think Detroit and Green Bay will both be better than us. But 10 wins is probably in the hunt for a division round or for a wild card spot for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're going, as I said yesterday with Miami, with the floor and their ceiling. I'm going 12 for the highest ceiling and getting a solid spot in the playoffs. I still don't think they're going to win the division with that.
Bro, what's crazy is
I'll go 12 too for my ceiling as well.
What's crazy is they could legitimately win 10, 11, 12 games and still be a wild card team. Like that's wild. Like that's crazy. But at the same time, we've also seen teams win 10 games, 10, 11 games and miss the playoffs. Miss the playoffs entirely. Like my ceiling 10-12. Like I said 11.
I'm going to go 12. I'm going to go 12 actually. You convinced me. I think because I had 10 or I had 10. If we split with Green Bay or the Lions, we could probably get 2 of those games. Let's talk about the other side of the conversation. Go ahead.
And Matt hit the like Detroit was better than us last year, and we split. Like Detroit, real talk, we should have swept them.
Yeah, we should have.
like
we had an opportunity to sweep them and blew that game.
Moving on from the ceiling, let's swing to the other side. We got to be a little bit more negative, but our Chicago Bears. And what do you think the floor is? For
same as this past season, 7-10, 8-9.
The floor?
Yeah, I think 8-9 is probably pretty feasible. I mean, you're looking at the schedule. I mean, I think they beat the Titans game as part of their floor. I think they beat Carolina. I think they beat Jacksonville. They still beat Washington. They still beat Arizona. They beat New England. I still think they split with Minnesota, and they beat Seattle. So whatever that math is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So I think the floor is 8 wins. I think this is a borderline 500 football team no matter what happens.
I had them going 10-7, 11-6 is my projected record. I say their floor is probably, I mean, Caleb Williams, goes down, God willing.
God
Things
forbid,
don't
you
work
mean?
out on defense, this and that. I mean, they could drop to 5 wins, as their floor at that point, or even 4. But I mean, I have them going 10-7, 11-6
Yeah,
as a solid wild card spot.
My final prediction, I think, is 10-7, but I think the floor is probably something like 7, 8 wins.
Yeah.
And that has been our Chicago Bears season preview show. Thank you very much for joining us here at Prime Sports World. I've, of course, been your host, David On Point Huffman. There's TJ Hopkins, and, of course, Mr. Matthew James, the biggest Bear fan I know. Wish you nothing but the best tomorrow, my friend. Good luck. Our prayers and thoughts are with you as you go.
Appreciate it, guys.
Man.
I will say, with first chance you get, give us a sign that you're, still amongst the living.
Or I'm rising from the ashes more so.
Yeah.
What's happening?
But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Gentlemen, what do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
Bring the heat.
Yes, sir. We'll be back here next week as we swing more into the NFC North. We're going to do that Minnesota Vikings show on Monday. You don't want to miss any of that content. You guys all have a good weekend. Stay safe out there. Peace out.
All right. You too.